Welcome to Open Studio. This is our very first event, and we're looking forward to doing many more. Now we have Guava, the artist, who is also known to some people as the Von Howell. Correct?
Yep. Don't mind him.
Who's been doing this for quite a while, and now we're going to hear a little bit about how he does his work, what his work means, that sort of thing.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you everybody for having me. Everybody that's here, I'm glad you guys came and decided to, grace me with your presence. I was just trying to big up, but hey, you can't be choosing, right? So as you all know, I'm Guava De Artist, aka Guava De Art. Guava De Art is the intellectual property, and it also means Guava Art in French. And it is my iconic way of expressing myself and running my business. So a little bit about me. Born and raised in Antiguan, Barbuda. I've gone to school, but not for art. I studied video production and new media in Canada at Doodle College, which is just something I had to do just in case my dreams didn't come true. I had something to fall back on, But I'm still pursuing my dreams, you know what I mean? And that career move that I went to Canada for actually led me to pursue my dream in real life, because when I came back here, hoping that I could get a job at one of the TV stations or video production houses, it didn't really happen. And I had to fall back on my natural born skill drawing. And I started at the newspaper, Sun Printing. And that's where I started, getting the feel of becoming an entrepreneur. Because my task was to produce the cartoons for the newspaper every day for 6 days of the week. And I had another task where I had to do some junior graphic design work, like magazine covers, business cards for the publishing company for that same company. But I didn't like where it was going, because I would overwork myself and going in at 8 in the morning and didn't leave until like 7, 8 at night. And then one day, when I was working and I came back home, I think I got home at 9 o'clock from doing like overtime, because I had to stay back and finish working on graphic design work. And when I got home, I fell asleep in my work clothes, right? And I woke up the next morning in my work clothes. And that was, to me, an eye-opener and a moment where I was like, you know what? I need to change my life. So I built up the courage to go in and talk to the chief editor and explain to him that I want to just do the cartoons and figure out a way for me to just do the cartoons. And I did that. They figured I could get a private contractor. And I signed an agreement with them, and I started the cartoons. That was my very first taste of entrepreneurialism. So from there, I was doing that, every day as a money maker, and at the same time slowly building my art, my art repertoire. So I would be, doing like art pieces for somebody who would like request something here and there, and then finally, when I got a really good opportunity, it was during when the Woods Gallery used to be open. And it was run by Sarah Fuller and a bunch of other women who needed to popularize art in the island. And they had an open house, antique open house, where they invited all artists from all over the island to come and display their artwork, who were not members of the Woods Gallery. So I was one, and I did 5 pieces, and I sold 3 out of 5 pieces, and from there on, I decided to take art seriously as an artist. And I started painting every day, and I was using my mom's basement or my mom's house. And at the same time, I would travel back and forth to different countries, Canada, the States, different places that caught me party, as well, because I was young, I was in my 20s. And I figured, well, I'm gonna travel as much as I can. And I did that. And so I fly anywhere I can and do artwork there, here, and there, and whatnot. At the same time, I'm slowly building my reputation as an artist, you see. So then, when I moved to the United States in 2010, I had decided to do it as a serious profession there and not go straight to work. I had to take on some menial jobs at first, but I said, once I sell my first art piece, then that's it. I'm not going to be working for anybody else again. So my first art piece, and it was a blessing, and then from there on, I kept on going. Moved back to Antigua in 14. This is after I met my wife and everything, and I figured well, Antigua would be the perfect place to establish myself as a business operator and have the Guava store or Guava De Art, which is a conceptual art store for a lot of people to enjoy, locally and globally. And from there, I would still do work freelance. I would put myself in a position where I would find jobs, or people would find me and commission me to do works, wherever the job calls. So I would fly to the States, Canada, Japan, wherever jobs would be available for me that I put up for myself. I would take them on fly out there and check them out. All right, so that's a bit of an introduction. Yeah. All right, so now we're gonna talk about style. So let's talk about different styles. So I have a bunch of different art styles, and you see as the projection goes through. All right, so this is a part of the tropic mutation fish that I've been working on some time now, and these type of artworks that I've done is more when I like to rush or use more of a faster pace when painting. So this piece right here, if you look at it closely, you can see multiple colors, of course, and details covering it, and some highlights. But this started as paint blotches. So I would just have a palette of colors out, and I would dab each area, and then cluster them together. And after I've done so, I would then shadow the areas, and then after that, I'll highlight them again. And then after the highlighting, I would then go over them with the detail brush, a number 1 brush, and cover them in black, right? So this is what's going on right here. And to multiply them, to make sure that I have the colors stay the same, I would sometimes stick a black canvas on there, and we'll copy this fish, and then just go over it in different details instead of going over making it look the exact same. That's a faster way of doing art pieces. If you were to start one and you're already figuring that you're going to do something off the top of your head, put on some more of this. It's making me lose my confidence. But anyways, it would be a faster way for you to do it if you do it this way. So let's say you want to do 15 pieces of the same color scheme, but have variations of them each. You would just put a blotch on one canvas, stamp it on, flip it over, take a black one, and stamp it again, maybe stamp it upside down, and then you can keep going from there. And that's a fast way of getting a whole array of work done, and you go through the details afterwards. See? So so that's a toxic mutation. This is a faster pace of painting, and this is one of the techniques that I've developed through experimentation with some of my pieces by accident. These things happen by accident, and when they come to by accident, I tend to use them as part of my arsenal. Yeah. All right. This is one of my favorite pieces now. So like I said, I have maybe four or three different art styles. I have rush work. I have which I call rough brush. I have highly detailed, and I have the fine art brush, which is one of the fine art pieces. These kind of pieces take days for me to do because I layer each section of the art piece. It started off in the center right here, where it was just an orange circle. And if you go to my Instagram, you'll see from the origin point to the execution. So I started with an orange circle, and then I started to add more color again, and I layered it to the point where I needed to have the specific colors for then what's going to come next, which is the transparency layer, where I actually painted it to make it transparent. Some people will paint something to look like it has transparency, but I actually layered it. So all you're seeing right here, the blue stuff covering over the veins and the arteries going down here and everything, this is actually me layering it about 4 times with a thinner diluted portion of paint. Again, so I layered the skin, and then I layered the skull, the face. Well, you can see 3 images going on right here. This is actually 3 layers of paint. So the first would be the green and the orange and stuff that I blended together, and then on top of that I put the blue and the red over it, and those were more opaque than the other paint. Then I came in again with the diluted paint. Boy, these were tongue twisters, you know what I'm saying? Then after that, I would go with the details. The background came like after, believe it or not. Usually some people paint the background and paint the foreground on top of the background, but I'm a crazy person. So sometimes I'll paint the foreground first and paint the background afterwards, then figure out how I'm gonna map the background with the foreground or marry them together so that you can actually see the background behind the foreground, even the foreground is painted before the background. It's crazy, right? Anyway, so I stepped away from usually like doing the outline in black for these pieces because these are my more, I would say like my fine art pieces, even though they look more illustrative, some people consider them drawing. Something I can't stand, we come to my store and say, oh yeah, your drawings are nice. I'm like, they're paintings, ma'am, or sir, you know, they keep calling them drawings. And this is all a brush. I didn't do any pencil sketch, no rough sketch or anything. It started with an orange black, don't believe me, but my Instagram check out. It started with just, and it's all brush work, but I can still like to work some things. I like to challenge myself to see if I can actually paint the painting without doing sketches or rough sketches. So this is what happened here. The details were done in the different colors for the different sections. So the skin of the body or the shell of the piece is actually called New Human, and the piece is based on a lot of us as human beings who were trapped in our homes during COVID because I actually painted this during COVID and couldn't go anywhere or do anything because of the lockdown. So a lot of us were becoming more than couch potatoes. We were basically becoming stationary to our comfort areas and being trapped and just having everything ordered to us. So this represents all these tools and stuff are, food and electricity and entertainment and pleasure and whatnot hooked up to this new human. It's not going anywhere, it's staying right there, and we're just consuming all sorts of like stuff that are bad for you, and these represent that, different animals and stuff, And then this orange one right here is the lifeline. So if this animal gets cut, then you're dead. But if this stays like throbbing and bouncing, then you're gonna live on for like thousands of years, because it's a new human. This is the dome or glass shell or diamond shell. I would actually prefer to be because of the strength of diamonds. And that's the brain inside there. And I even have embedded in the brain waves, you can see the word new human in there. A whole bunch of folks when they did the piece first, they're like, it's smelling something, what is smelling? And then when they come closer, I see, oh, new one, human, it's right there. New and then human up here. You know what I mean? So I like to work a bit cryptic sometimes so people can look for little hidden notes and messages. And all my pieces have these things in them, in case y'all didn't know. Alright, but I also know that. Alright, moving right along. Imagine this is one of my favorite pieces. It's right now my friend in Miami, he has these pieces, guys sent them up to Miami for Art Basel back in 2021. I think so, yeah, 2021, 2022. One of them series, one of them was Art Basel. But this piece is one of my favorite ones. I did this during the pandemic as well too. I was painting the same time I was painting New Human. And this piece was painted 4 different positions. It was painted right side up, portrait, upside down portrait, right side up landscape, and upside down landscape. And I painted it that way because this was another piece, another one of my intricate pieces. It was the very second one I've ever done. The first one I ever done was another one called Sick of This Shit. And it was a piece of a woman that's gazed off, and in the background there's a whole bunch of chaos going on. And those pieces are freestyle pieces. I would use a number 1 brush and pick a very diluted paint or ink, and then just paint what I'm seeing as time goes on. And then I would flip the canvas so that I can work on different areas so you can all merge together. Because I find sometimes when you do a drawing or painting, right, and you're painting from just one area going down, you can almost see a repetitive stream of different image and details that almost look like what's the word? Like it's been stamped or a cookie cut. You get me? So to avoid that, I flip the canvas 4 times so that everything can look pretty much organic and sporadic and not repetitive. So when you look at this piece, you see so much crazy stuff going on. You know what I mean? When you flip it upside down, you see a whole other picture. For instance, on this side, you can see my little character T sitting on top of a building. And there's a whole bunch of money bags here and a crazy machine pumping up some stuff. There's a bunch of rabbits trying to escape this dimension through this portal. Over here, there's a whole bunch of plants and some weird stuff going on in the corner. But when you flip it around, you see another picture, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, so if you have in the chats, flip it upside down and you see a whole other picture. Alright, so that's the image there. Alright, this is Congo Dandie. This is one of my favorite pieces. I did this piece back in 2014 in my mom's downstairs in my mom's house. And what gave me inspiration for this is I was watching a documentary on YouTube called Congo Dandies. And it's based on these guys in the Democratic Republic of Congo that are just very dapper. But a lot of them, some of them now, but some of them are highly impoverished. But they spend their money, their life savings on very expensive clothes like Valentino shoes and Versace suits and Armani suits and them kind of things. And every Friday they'll get together at a cafe somewhere downtown and they'll just style and dress and pose and do all that stuff. And it blew my mind because they're coming from the Congo. We have all these resources: gold, diamonds, cobalt, all that stuff. You know what I mean? And they're spending their money. They would actually work really hard, save their money, send it to their friends and family who live in Italy or Spain or Paris, and have them buy like the high-end fashion clothes for them and send it back to them so they can style their friends at a cafe. And it blew my mind because I'm like, what the hell is wrong with these people? You come from a place where you have wealth resource, you know what I mean? And you're dying to buy these crappy European clothes where you have the things that they want. Instead, so I did the piece with a whole bunch of references in there, right? The measurements of the human body and stuff on there, with the measurements they see on there are based off of my love for architectural design. I love seeing the schematic of buildings and stuff, whether it's a floor plan or the elevation. So I wanted to embed that in one of my pieces, and I had the opportunity to do this, so I was figuring out to do this, right? And then his jacket, or his blazer rather, has an image of a decaying tree on there, and that's just me showing the decay of Africa, of the constant reaping and raping of the resources and the people and the exploitation of the people. So I put that on there for that. And then when I override his pocket, at the end where you usually put a pocket square, you can see there's a rose blooming from that same decaying tree. So there's still hope that Africa won't drop dead, and we can save it from whatever's left. Alright, and his shirt, where these patterned shirts usually have like Polo or Ralph or a horse and stuff on there. I put a whole bunch of grubs on there, those big worms that people in Africa eat sometimes as protein. The big like slime looking, silk looking grub. So I put that, and some African tribes, they eat them as protein. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to put that in there as a field, The brain outside the head represents us not thinking as a collective. So I had to put that there, and it really made the piece stand out, and a lot of folks were interested in it, and then somebody finally bought it the other day. So thank you for that. And then the pipe is actually a cat pipe, because I have to ask the question, are you people on drugs over there? Because you live in a country where you have all these resources and all this manpower. Why you are like coming together and taking control of the resources and and then being the masters of the universe versus foreign interests coming in and then paying people who are militia to raid and reap and destroy your whole country so that the people who paid them can live better, and then you can want their crappy stuff like their fashion clothes and their whatever it is they make. So this piece is a very powerful and significant piece, and the colors I chose were that of the African Serengeti in terms of the background. So I wanted this to represent white sands, and then this the African sunset. That yellow, nice orange sunset where they always have in every movie and documentary, and the silhouette of the animals crossing. Yeah, so I wanted to convey all that in the piece. Alright, let's move right on. Oh, wait, before we continue there, I just wanted to add my wife added a little piece to it too. She did the buttons, and she does embroidery art, so the buttons are actually embroidered thread over metallic gold thread. Just a little touch. And this piece is actually 5 by 3.5 inches. Sorry, feet and pitch and by feet. So 5 feet by 3 foot, 2.5 feet. Yeah, that's what it is. Alright, let's move right along. Alright, this here is one of my favorites. It's from the, let me start with the Jackson. This is from the Awarak series. I've done these Awarak women in different positions and different poses. They're all 6 by 4 feet in terms of the size. And believe it or not, I finished painting in less than 2 days. Yeah. So this is another one of the fine art pieces where I say I put in a lot of time, but I can paint really fast. Believe it or not, a lot of folks don't believe me when I tell them I paint really fast, but I can paint really fast. And I can finish a piece within like hours, if not minutes, if I stay focused on any sort of like interruption. So this piece follows that same trend where I said when I do the outlines, I didn't go with the traditional Guava, super impactful black outline. So every outline on this has different color. For her body, I used red and purple. For her hair, I used blue. For the jewelry that she's wearing, I used blue as well too. And some parts I used brown for the outline. And like I said, it's based on the Awarak series, and this series is based on the Awarak tribes, but I mainly focus on the women. And what it is a different dimension to ours, where Christopher Columbus never made it to this particular earth. So the people were able to thrive and develop different technologies and stuff with nature, and then at the same time, they were visited by extraterrestrials that actually helped them to develop, because those extraterrestrials saw that they were such peaceful, nature-loving people. They decided to give them tech that would help them develop, but they stayed in their traditional ways of wearing, the loincloth, and, not wearing tops because, they want to absorb the sun. The women and the men don't see like titties as something perverted, so outside breast. So they figure, well, it's not for them, So all the pieces that I did have like the women with their breasts exposed, but in a very tasteful way. And this is, I think this is the fourth or the third installment of the pieces that are women. Yeah, so that's that. Alright, this is what I was saying about sick of this shit from the beginning. It was the very first meticulous piece that I've ever done with a brush, like full on. Usually I would like just go do my meticulous pieces with my pen or pencil and a sketchbook. But like I said, I love challenges, so I like to challenge myself. And this piece was the very first one. So once again, started the first part of this piece started up here in the corner where I did a red dot to figure out where the piece is going to go, and then it kept on going, and then it got to where I figured I need to set the piece, and this goddess traveler being, she comes to Earth and she sees what's going on, and she's not happy at all. With all the destruction, the torture, the pollution and everything, and all this is embedded in this piece. And one of the part, and this is when during COVID as well, so just in case y'all wondering. One part of this piece that was very significant to me was here up in the corner right here. You can see like a whole bunch of arms sticking out, and there's like a wave and everything. Above here, there's like a boat, but you can't see because of how I cropped the piece. Because when I did the piece, I didn't wrap it on a stretcher. I coated the canvas, I stuck it to the wall, and then painted it directly to the wall. And while I was painting it, I was uploading pictures, and there's an Instagram rapper by the name of Chris Webby. He's an independent artist. He saw the art piece and he contacted me and then told me, yo man, I want that piece. I'm like, alright, cool, it's yours, But this piece right here, like in the corner I was saying about, when I did that part, that little feature in there, it was talking about the North Africans who were trying to escape like North Africa during that time and trying to get over to Spain or Italy, and they were using all these makeshift boats in order to cross the ocean to get to Spain or Italy, right? And a lot of them would die because the rafts they would make weren't seaworthy, and they would just fall apart. People would drown babies and stuff, and it was heartbreaking to me because they had a team from Italy. They would they bought an old fishing boat and they custom fitted it or retrofitted it to help rescue these Africans who are crossing. And man, let me tell you, these people really put in the effort to save these people. And when you see human beings like doing stuff like that to help other human beings, it really like evoke emotions. I'm getting all like emotional right now talking about it because I remember watching it and I was seeing like one of the guys on the ship break down because there was a baby and you know the baby they couldn't like resuscitate the baby and he was just in tears, you know what I'm saying? And he was on the ground and he was just crying and I felt it, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, you know what I mean? I know how that feels because you have people who want to help other people who are in dire situations and you know, they're doing their best. And, you know, when you see them break down like that, you know, you really know that there's still some hope in the world. So I wanted to add that piece in the piece of the canvas. And these like the souls drowning in the ocean there, and there's some sticking up, and then up here there's a wave, and then there's a boat coming over to try and like save those who fall. So that was one part of this piece that really touched me, and then this piece right here too. Because I'm vegan, everybody in case y'all wondering, and I'm just trying to help push veganism because a lot of folks think that veganism is about like fish people and whatnot, but I'm not. I'm just trying to help folks understand that the world's not what it used to be. You know, meat isn't what it used to be anymore. So right here there's like this crazy section where it's like a cow being slaughtered at the same time. There's these pumps and wires and stuff hook up to the cow. And she's basically getting sucked dry of all her nutrition that you're supposed to give to the child. You know, when you come down here, you see there's other parts of where the cows are suffering and then there's some butcherment of the pig and whatnot. But I don't want to get into all that because it's getting too personal now. But this is one of my, the very first meticulous piece, and it's called Sick of This Shit. And you can see the reason why it's called Sick of This Shit. Alright, let's move right along. Alright. This is one of my favorite pieces and fun pieces too because I actually finished this piece within 24 hours because I had to. This is a 5 by 4 foot piece I did for Dr. John. It was requested by his daughter as a Christmas present during 2021 and 2022 December. Can't remember, but either way, I remember this piece was one of the pieces that gave me the most views on Instagram. I did it on Christmas Eve. She came to me, she contacted me Christmas Eve morning and said, Guava, I need a piece like that for his birthday. Can you do this for me? I'm like, oh God, can you just come to the store by something? No, it's gonna be some special, blah, blah. And then I'm like, all right, fine, what is it? I want you to just conceptualize something for me because, you know, my dad is in that, he really loves the art, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fine. So then I conceptualized a doctor in a dystopian world where, you know what I mean, there's all this stuff going on. So I was basically on the pandemic of what's going on, and like that doctor doesn't stop doing what he has to do as a doctor, you know what I mean? So he's gonna go there and get the job done. If sick patients come to him, he's gonna drop everything he has to drop and go and deal with the most urgent patient and whatnot and get them back on their feet. So this piece I think I dubbed it oh gosh, I'm trying to remember the name. I remember the name. Can't remember right now. But anyways, so I had to finish within 24 hours for Christmas. So Christmas Eve, she brought me the materials because I had to build a frame too, which is even more challenging. So I had to cut the wood, stretch the canvas, cut the wood, build a frame, stretch the canvas, coat the canvas, and do the painting. And I did 2 paintings the same day because I did an extra one as a gift for him called Dr. Swan. It was a doctor like walking and floating with a stethoscope, floating off his shoulder. I did both of them at the same time. And that piece was a gift that I was going to give him as a free gift because during the pandemic, my daughter had fell out of the couch and landed on her chin and split her chin wide open. This was like the very first week of the lockdown when they put up a curfew and nobody could leave the house. And I was like, holy crap, this is happening now? So I had to call her up and tell her, man, I need a favor. My daughter's split her chin wide open, there's blood everywhere, and she needs stitches and the hospitals and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to take the home St. John's. So I said, can your dad do a solid for me? And she made some calls and whatnot, and then he said, yeah, meet him at his office, blah, blah. So I jumped in my car and I drove my car fast over. I didn't give a shit, cops on the road, but I had to get my daughter like healed. So I got her over there, he stitched her up and everything, and you can even barely see the mark now. Her chin is like completely like clear. And if I had taken her to the most Indian, she probably had a nasty scar on her chin. And hey, that's just the reality of the situation. So like I said, I had to do this within 24 hours. So did the painting, started at the store. I put it online when I was painting with my hands and stuff and everything. I got over 12,000 views. That was the most views I've ever gotten on anything. So I was like, I don't know why it was happening, but it happened. Took it home and finished at the house. I painted all through the night, didn't sleep, and delivered it to him Christmas morning. And if you go to my Instagram, you see me delivering the painting to him. And that was one of my more daring pieces where I challenged myself to get something done that's very, like, as you can see, looks very detailed and intricate, and get it done and ready for the deadline. Now, like I said, I challenged myself. So that's that. Alright, this piece was done for a client in Washington, D.C. William Meeker, his name is, and he's big into rowing. And he sent me a reference picture of a big mural in his college hometown, where they had a guy sitting and holding the oars. That's what they call it. They're not oars, right? Yeah. But he didn't like it because the person who did the painting wasn't holding the oar like this with the thumb on it. So when he sent me the reference piece, it was just the hand like this grabbing the oar, which they can't, right? Because it's going to slip. Yeah, your thumb got to be on top of that. So I had to like follow the details of what he told me what to do to get it look like this. So the thumb's there, you see it there, is me adding the finer details. So when somebody look at a piece where it should look like what it is, it's going to have that. So yeah, I didn't really go into so much on this piece because it's not one from my pure imagination. Yes, the style and everything is from my imagination. And this is another version of me using the rough brush technique, like I like that rough brush technique, where I don't stay within the lines, I don't keep my lines uniform. Some lines are thick, some lines are skinny, and I like that because it just shows like my crazier side, because I have different personalities, what I mean? When your parents give you all these names, different personalities, right, from your subconscious and whatnot, right? So you got Ron, Rodney, Terrell, and Guava. And there are 4 people inside this host, okay? So Ron is usually the businessman, Rodney's the whatever guy, Terrell is the rambunctious, never fear guy, and Guava's the artist, And then sometimes these works come out, these personalities come out of my work. Alright, let's move on. Alright, this piece was a piece I did for my friend Andy Anderson, and he wanted a piece for his living room, and I like to do these crazy collages that have illustration in them. So this is something else I've been developing, where I do these collage pieces where you can see like a whole bunch of cartoon stuff going on, but at the same time it looks abstract. And I've been developing this style for a good few years now because I like to doodle. And I figure, well, at some point I'm going to use this as wallpaper or pattern for my company when it's reached the stage of where I can hire a whole bunch of workers and the CEO or the founder, and I can hire a CEO to run the business and then have them do all these works that I don't really like to do because I like to create, but I don't really like to really print stuff. You know what I mean? Alright, and then I can't remember what I named this piece because when I did it, he gave it to me on a weird material that he wanted to keep behind a plexi. So I wasn't able to name the piece. So this one's on title. I think he may have a name on it, but don't quote me on it. You gotta check with it. Alright, let's move right along. Alright, this one's called Pith, and this is based off of the pose and the picture is based off of an Instagram model. Okay, she calls it Epiphany. She's an Asian chick that likes, on Instagram as well, like pose half naked and fully naked. So she's one of them who likes to do that. And
it didn't look like this obviously. It was just a picture of her in a bedroom staring off. So I liked the pose because of how everything looked. And I decided to do a piece based on her and keep like I said, mix up the details. So for the sheet, I wanted the bed to look like a complete bed. I wanted the bed to look like a bed morphing into like either sea foam or marshmallows. So that's what I had in mind when I did the bed. The walls, of course, she had like these beautiful, nice, clean walls. I didn't want that. I wanted to see some sort of destruction. So I wanted the walls to have cracks and stains. The floors as well, because I like wooden floors in any kind of house. Like anyway, I love wooden floors. Like piled wooden floors to me is just a blessing. You know what I mean? So I wanted to put that in one of my pieces, and I decided to do it with this one. Where the window is, I painted it to the point where the light looks soft, where it looks like it's actually shining from the outside. If you see this piece in real life, it looks like the damn painting that has like backlight behind it, but it's not. It's all an illusion for me. And then the skin, of course, I wanted the skin to look like it had a lot of movement in it. And if it's something you've ever noticed with my pieces, is everything has some sort of movement in it, because I don't like to keep still, and I'm always pushing movement, because our bodies are designed to move, so we should always be moving. Sitting on and sleeping and staying in one position is bad for us as human beings, and it causes us to end up with us aches and pains. You know what I'm saying? The fluid leaks in one spot, stays there, doesn't move. So everybody, make sure I move. Alright, so this is Pip, and the guy Barbie, his body's off of me, and when he saw the piece, he contacted me and he said, he's like, well, bro, I need that paste, because the bottom is big, that's good, but requested it, and I took it out, I packed up and shipped down to Barbados for him, and he's so owner of this right now. It's 30 by 40 piece, or, yeah, 30 by 40. Yeah. Alright, let's move right along. Alright, so this is one of the best pieces I've ever done. Did this piece within less than 24 hours, and this piece was painted in the UK of all places, so it has like a very significant meaning. You know, me, I'm always going to put significance in my shit. So, I've always wanted to do a piece of our legendary cricket batsman, captain, humanitarian, hero, you know what I mean, servant, but it was never the right time, or I never had it. It was never the right time. Now, for me to do a painting, it always has to be the right timing. You get me? And when I was presented with the opportunity to go to the UK to do the World Travel Market as a live painter, the folks at the tourism board office over there, with Shelley, she had suggested that I should do a frigate bird, a pineapple, and there's a piece based on servant, just to show the significance of Antigua. So the first was pineapple. Did that within like maybe I finished that within like 45 minutes. The first day, the second day I did the servant piece. I started on the second day, and I was through most of it. What is the World Travel Market closes out a certain day, so I had to stop and leave everything for the next day. And then the next day, I finished it with the frigate bird. So this piece, with the significance of him being in the UK, that's just me like showing him that, you know what I mean, like back there, because I don't know if you guys are familiar with the documentary Fire in Babylon. You have to get a chance to watch the documentary. It's very, very good. It talks about the West Indies cricket team and how dominant they were during their era. You know what I mean? And they were basically the best team in the whole world in terms of like if you were to class any sport. The West Indies dominated the World Cricket Championships or whatever, because I'm not really a big cricket person, but you know. They dominated cricket for they beat every record that could have been beaten during that era. And the reason why the significance of him watching the ball really hard in the UK, I remember there was a scene in the documentary where the Brits were saying that when they face the West Indies, they're going to have them tripping and grubbling during the match when they come to face them. Now you're talking about like these dudes were different. They were going to the gym and working out and doing cardio and all that stuff, stay fit so they can be their brothers. Whereas a lot of the folks on other teams, cricket was just basically a relaxed sport, you know. They would just hit the ball and run and pick up and then throw, and you know what I mean? It was like that, it was laid back. So they actually ate their words. When they met the West Indies had them grumbling and tripping and falling from balls. You know what I mean? So that played a significance. And then also I didn't want to do a piece where he's just still, and I didn't want to do a piece based on him at the age he is now. I wanted to do a piece based on him in his glory days. So when I was doing it, he was there, he came over a bunch of times, and he's looking at it, and then he said, you know what I mean? Because the guy said, he's a real joke, you know what I mean? And then he did the shows, and I was like, oh, just give me time, man. When it's complete, you can be impressed, you know what I mean? And then the last moment when everything was done, and he started to get his going in, and then I had to deliver to him at his hotel, and I think the man was like so overwhelmed. He asked me, you know, he said, no, I gotta go back to you. Because they wanted to keep it up there for the office and keep it in the tourist office, but he wanted it. And then he signed the $2 that had his image and likeness on it, and then I painted it down there, and that was a piece that did conservative, and that was one of my dreams come true, because like I said, I was wanting to do a piece based on him, but it had to be the right time and the right type of piece, and this piece just, you know, it just spoke to me and spoke to him. Alright, and then, yeah, so. Alright, now, so the last piece for the night. Started boring everybody, I'll finally see y'all next to break in here, but this piece, he's the mascot. He's the iconic little dude that this creature is going to be really big someday. I know for a fact, because he's lovable, likable anywhere I go. Hence the reason I'm wearing my shirt today, because I really want to represent Teeth. His name is Teeth, like the teeth they both. And the reason why I decided to name him Teeth is because he's always smiling. He greets you with a smile. He sees you for who you are, not what you look like. And that's his little slogan right there. I see who you are and not what you look like. My name is Teeth. And that's why he covers his eyes up and he uses his heart to judge and see people. So he basically judges you in your character rather than your appearance. And I basically dubbed him the universal citizen for global peace, because I'm all about peace and happiness. Yeah, I know there's no violence in my work. My work goes so edgy, but I don't paint violence. I don't paint people shooting up and people getting murdered and stuff. Yeah, you maybe see some calls when you paint and stuff, and some work, but that's about it. But this character, he represents that, and no matter where I go in the world, if I have on one of these shirts, people stop me and they ask me, what is that? Who is he? Let me hear the story. And it's the same thing at my store. I do these shirts, they sell. Like, they go really fast. So I really want for this to spread. And the reason why I also named Teeth is because everybody got teeth. You know, we all once had teeth, you know. But it's just what's the word? It's a reminder to everybody that, you know, even though we do view each other differently, we're all the same at the end of the day. We all have teeth, or we at least had them before we lost them. Alright, so that brings me to the end of my presentation here, and I hope this was enough for everybody to get a little bit about me. My style developed through years of experience and experiments, and that's how I got to where I am today. Sometimes people like to class my style to graffiti or street art. And I would like for that glory to be mine, but I'm really not a street artist. I'm just a prolific conceptual artist. I like to experiment with things. I throw different techniques and styles and genres into my own style, and then, you know, regurgitate my own original style based off of these things. What inspires me is basically everything. I'm a person who's very observant. You know, when people think I'm not watching, I'm watching. I watch every single thing. I'm somehow always seeing all sorts of weird shit, which I shouldn't see, but I do see them because I'm super observant. You know, and that's what inspires me. It's every little thing. I could be watching an ant like try to crawl into an ant hole. I will draw inspiration from there and create art piece out of that. You know, my business and where I am in my career, it took years to get where I am today. I started taking this seriously back in 2006, 2007. We're in 2025 now, so it just goes to show you how long I've been doing this. And no matter how many times doors were closed in my face, and people have told me no, and things may seem negative, I still persevered because I'm a very tenacious person. And when somebody tells me no, it's just me telling myself, well, you're going to win now because they tell you no, so you have to prove them wrong. And that's something I always do, is prove people wrong. I hate saying it like this, but it's true. It's one of the things where if you really want to see me succeed, just tell me I can't do it. But if you tell me I can do it, then I'm going to go very slow pace. But if you tell me I can't do something, you best believe you're going to see me where you said I wasn't going to be. And that's just me. Alright, everybody, so that's me in a nutshell. I hope that's enough for y'all. Thank you.